Okay.
Hi.
Hi. It's so good to see you.
Missed you.
I know. So what has happened since the last time we spoke?
Let's see. So as far as work stuff, I went to Staples. I got a bunch of like folders and I got myself like a pad like we use, but not those like square ones.
Yeah.
They give me anxiety.
Yeah.
So I found like pads that have like, they're like project note pads.
Yeah.
So it has your project on it and then it has like your tasks on the side and then it has like the notes so you can write other things.
Yeah.
So what I've done is I started to do like my task bubbles, like those pads, and I can do on my notes. Okay, so I ordered this paint. This needs to be ordered, and then I'll write on my side. It was ordered and called in this day, picked up this day. So I'm getting there.
Alyssa, that's amazing.
Hey.
How is that working for you?
Actually, really well. Like, so I got that in the beginning of last week.
Okay.
So I used it. I took it home like Wednesday night and started to write everything for my projects and think about stuff. So both Thursday and Friday at work, like I actually had, like I knew what I was doing, which is what I feel like I was lacking. Like I didn't have my given tasks to do.
Yeah.
So like now that I started to think about my own tasks, now I have them. So I'm trying to learn to be my boss.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's awesome. That's great that you found something that's working for you.
Hopefully keep doing it. That's what I need to really get myself into continue to do it.
Okay.
Taking that time, because if I don't do that, then I don't know where I am.
Right.
So
and
it's different. It's a different way of thinking that I'm not used to. So it takes me a long time to really like sit down and think about the whole project and like where I am in the project and what's been done and what I have to do.
Right.
So it's a learning curve for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it sounds like it's something that you're dedicated to.
Yes. Yeah, and it's helpful because like I talked to Alicia a little bit about it too, because when she had given me the working drawings for Lowry, it was like a game changer for me. It opened my eyes to thinking in a different way that I wasn't before.
Wow.
So like thinking of, okay, well, what do I actually have to do first in order to get these cabinets in? And how long is it really going to take? Like just thinking it out, like, and watching videos of people doing it. Yeah. Gave me like a whole different way of looking at our projects and estimates too. Wow. So like I had noticed, okay, well, we didn't account for painting the sides of the cabinets, like things like that we don't notice until I'm in there on the drawings and I'm looking at it and physically piecing things together. Then I'm like, oh, okay, I understand why this takes so long. So and like going, because you have to write out all the notes for them, what they have to do. So that was very, very helpful for me. Thinking of like, okay, next I need to do this. So I wish I'd done that a long time ago. Honestly. Yeah. I think the working drawings, they give you an understanding of this job, because I am not just a designer and it's very hard to get out of that bubble. Yeah. So it's helped a lot. Yeah. So it's opened your mind to just like things I never thought about. Yeah. So it's definitely helpful. Yeah, kind of getting into the mindset more of like the project management side of it. Yep, and I don't have that yet, so it's something I have to learn. And I need to for my job. So so I think that's helping. Yeah, that's what else did I get? I also got a so another thing I remembered that I did at my old job was at the end of the day, because we had to bill clients, I had to take the time and list out, okay, I worked 2 hours on this person. Oh, okay. Yeah. And this is what I accomplished. This is what I started. And this is what still needs to be done. Okay. So at the end of the day, I had my notepad of my people every day. And then I'd go through and I would have basically a log of checklists in my notebook. Okay. So I'm thinking that that's something else that would be very helpful. Yeah, that sounds very similar to what you're trying to achieve now. Right. And I was thinking, then I'm like, then I can go back and keep track of like, okay, I spent 6 hours that day on the layout. okay, and how far did I get? Did I complete it? Did I get just an idea? And then I can kind of use that to build my schedule of how, like Alicia does on her board, like my layout, and get like an idea of how long it takes me to do things. So, and what I need to do those things. So I think that's something that will help me too.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's awesome. You've come up with all of these things in a matter of a week.
I know. Well, I really thought about it after that, and I was like, okay, what can I do to get myself to that point? What do I need? So starting to think of those things, little things at a time. So,
yeah, that's amazing. That's so good. Thanks. Like you said, little things at a time, and believing in your abilities as both a designer, which we know is like your super strong suit. We know your passion is there, and just getting the other side of that coin.
Yeah, so I can be well-rounded.
But it sounds to me that you have had this experience in the previous job, and kind of in a way, with making that list and saying,
yeah, that is true, because they never required me to do that. That was just something that's how I kept track of my own things. So yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Because when I heard you saying that, I was like, oh my God, that's
I didn't even think about that.
I mean, that sounds, I don't know how you feel, but like it sounds like it could like translate.
Yeah.
How do you feel that
I think that definitely, I did do that for my own self, not as a requirement. So I think that I didn't think about it that way. So that makes me feel better about myself.
You're doing big moves. You've already made big moves in a week.
I know.
Finding that binder, and I know just previous experience before, like this coaching relationship, that writing things down is what really helps you. And you found a planner that's like very specific to your work. And I think that's amazing that you found that and that it's helpful. Right?
Oh yeah, because I can also, when I am writing it, it's going into my head. So like at school, that's the only way I could study. My dad taught me, write your facts, write them 3 times, 5 if you're really nervous. And that's what helped him, and that's how I studied too. So it's more so of like the physical process of I guess thinking in my head and bringing it to a piece of paper. It's like it has to be one thing to me. Like I'm not very good at taking it from one thing and moving it from paper to computer. I want it to be connected to me.
No, I think that's like I'm getting this cool picture of just like your thoughts, like as energy, just like moving down.
That's basically how I feel arm. It. Like I can't really get it to solidify if I'm not physically doing it, I guess.
But that's such a good thing to know about yourself and know that like, okay, I've tried these things and they haven't worked, but this is what works for me.
And I just have to accept that takes me a little bit more time. I'm not a computer person. I don't typing doesn't help me as much. So I just now I have to figure out. Now I have to work with what I know about myself, and if it takes extra time, it takes extra time. But that's how I get it done. So, and I'm okay with that.
Okay.
To a point.
To a point. Tell me more about what is your point? So like
what we were talking about, Christine and I, with Alicia leaving and like all of the drawings being done. I had mentioned, I did a lot of drawings in my previous job. It's pretty much all I did was construction drawings and like noting things and going through page by page. And we did it. Alicia does hers like very like schematically and very detailed. And which I'm used to with my previous drawings because I did my markups. So like, even though her process and her drawings are different, the mindset is still the same. So even though we don't do like as far as demo plans, like I had to do that. I had to take a plan and then mark, okay, this door is being removed. We're filling it with 2x4. This is the square footage. So I have a good understanding of working drawings.
Right.
And I said to Christine, you know, if there's ever a time where she's not here
Right.
and somebody needs to do those, I have no problem doing them.
Yeah.
And she said, you know, that's not in our job description.
Interesting.
So
Okay.
it's not something that we are required to do. That's what her position does. But because she said, you know, you stay there and they take time. And it does. It takes a lot of time because you're thinking through the project. You're thinking of every little step.
Right.
So that's why Alicia will spend her time, after work and on the weekends and stuff like that. And I do the same thing. I work on the weekends and after work too, because I like to do it. But if, like what Christine is saying, if you are going to take on that role, then you have to understand that it takes time. And if you're willing to put in all of those extra hours on top of what you're already doing. So that's kind of my line there, is I don't so much love working drawings. So that wouldn't be something I'd be comfortable going past my limit for, if that makes sense. But if it's my role, like my position, then I have no problem working all of the time, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So
taking on what I'm hearing, and correct me if I'm wrong. So what I'm hearing is you'll do whatever time it takes for your job.
Yes.
But to take on this additional role to help other people out is not something that you're comfortable doing.
I'm comfortable to an extent. So, because I like to help people, I like to get things done. And if I know something needs to get done, I want it done. So, especially if it affects my job.
Right.
Like if I have to wait a month for a plan, I don't have a problem doing the plan. If I've got the time, just give it to me. Like I'll do the work. If I don't have the time, then it's harder for me to spend the extra time of my own personal time on something that I'm not like super passionate about.
So, and that makes sense to know where your boundaries are, especially taking on work that isn't part of your role.
Right. Yeah. And I do it anyway because I just like to. I also, you know, if I'm not busy and other people are swamped, I have no problem taking on their work. Like give me whatever you have to do. I have nothing. But like I said, if I have things to do, it's harder for me to help everyone else too. So, but I still like to do it.
Yeah.
But I can't help it.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, how much time do you have now then?
Personal time?
Personal time, work time, because I mean, we've talked about, you know, how to keep this strategy working for you.
Right.
How much time to do those breakdowns at the end of the day if you have the time.
I think
it's sounding like there might be some constraints there.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering what those look like for you.
So I think that the way that I vision it is the way I see it is if these things like writing my like notes and stuff to me is it's not in my job description. So I would personally do that on my time, because if that's something like getting myself organized and stuff, because I know it takes me a long time to really sit down with, like that's what I do when I go home. I take all of my stuff with me, I lay everything out, I look at everything, and I reorganize my stuff, and I think about the day and I think about tomorrow. At least I've been trying to, which has helped. But I would never do that on the clock, because I don't feel as though, I feel like it's something that because it takes me more time to do. I don't feel as though I should be being paid to learn myself, I guess, like figure myself out, you know, like I feel like it's more of this is something I'm struggling with personally. It's not something that they're not doing for me, it's me. So I feel like that's not their problem, I guess.
But this is related to work, right?
Yeah.
So how do you feel about yes, I get what you're saying, and that yes, it's something for me because this is something that I'm struggling with. And at the same time, this is related to your job, your work.
Yeah. I wonder if like how we do our sales meetings every Monday, if like at the end of every day of the last half hour, the first half hour of the day is just my time to get my stuff.
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
Kind of like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, like in the mornings, you're kind of just like getting settled in.
Yeah.
And when I do my notes and stuff, it helps me to get my brain going. It helps me to start thinking about my day. So maybe coming in and doing that first thing would be very helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, yeah. And then even if I don't have to do like my end of day summary at work, even just at least that part of I think like getting my projects, I think is fair to do. Maybe so much of like the logging stuff is more personal for my tracking. So maybe that's something I would be willing to eventually
incorporate into work, but start with this 30-minute kind of
and just go
mind
through
thing.
everything I have, all my clients, where are they at, what do they have to get done today, like, so I think that would, especially getting, because it is hard for everybody, I'm sure, in the morning just to like get in the work mode, get your coffee, and then as I'm having my coffee, think about my stuff. I think that would be helpful.
Wow.
I like that.
I think that would be great. That sounds like an amazing goal. So how will it look like? What will you do this week?
Well, I'm gonna start now. I'm going back and starting now.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm gonna go through and think about my projects, because I need to also think about all my upcoming things too, because right now I'm still only thinking about my couple. So really just getting into my first appointments and my selection meetings, whatever's coming up, and get those in there too. I think that's a great start.
So what will you use to keep you organized then?
I'll use that notepad.
And
then I also bought 2 other notebooks that are project notebooks that are laid out very similar, just smaller. And that way I can keep my personal things in that one, but I know that they like to see on my desk what I've got. So now I have mine to take home, and I have mine for work.
There you go.
I like that because I like to take it with me.
Yeah, take it with you and think.
Yeah, because I like to note things in there too. It's like a big appointment coming up, or like if I need and I need to like schedule backwards. I like doing that too. Which I think I talked to you a little bit before about before you left. I like to plan backwards. Like if I like my due date, and then I like to
step back. And that helps a lot.
Yeah, and I think again with that, like logging my hours of time of how much it took to do that is going to help me to build my schedule backwards.
Wow.
My time. I just realized that.
Wow, that's amazing. That's
like
really cool. See, you just did all this in a matter of just like 20 minutes.
It just takes like just talking through it, I think. Because it's a lot for me to talk to myself in my head about this at home, but I don't get anywhere.
Sometimes pen to paper, right?
Well, I think just physically talking it out helps me, because I get stuck easily. So, and then if I'm frazzled, I give up. So, and I know that about myself. So it helps me to, even if it's just me saying something and not so much of like needing someone's like response, it's just verbally talking through it
to process.
Yeah. That sums it up.
Okay, cool. So you're gonna start today.
Yes.
With your mind map. How do you think the rest of the week will look like for you?
I'm gonna start to do my mornings then, and I think that's gonna be really helpful. And if I have the time, maybe I'll do my end of day, or I'll take everything home. It's also, I do notice for myself that I get a little bit overwhelmed in the office. I'm not used to like having a lot going on around me. Especially having working at home for almost a year where I'm by myself. So it does help me sometimes to just take that step out and just be in a different environment.
Okay.
Which is also like, I was talking to my mom because she's similar to me. Like they'll go on walks and have lunch together at her office, but she doesn't. And she's like, at the beginning, people thought I just didn't like them, but that's not the case. I like that 30 minutes of detachment.
Right.
So it's kind of for me, like when I go get my soda, like it's my time to just like
take a breath.
Yeah. And
that's
important. Yeah, it's very, very important to me. And I've realized that lately.
It sounds like it's grounding
it
you
is,
to be more focused on work and getting in that mindset.
Yeah, because like this morning having that first meeting, it was a long one and it's a lot of stuff in my head and like a lot of things floating around. And it's a lot for me. I like to take that drive to McDonald's. I'm taking all that stuff in and I'm really like absorbing it. Yeah. So that I like that space, like that time alone is kind of, it's almost detrimental for me.
I was going to say, it sounds necessary to whatever way that looks like for you, whether it be get a soda or step out of the office or go and do something. It sounds like that's important for you to recenter yourself.
Yes.
And like focus on the work.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it is very overwhelming. You have a very overwhelming job. It's a lot. It's very fast paced. It's very overwhelming. And it's definitely, it sounds like a very new, overwhelming thing.
Yes.
Still, like, it's a lot.
Later,
it's a lot.
It is.
What you're doing is a lot.
And I'm not used to that at all.
Right.
I'm used to being low on the totem pole. Here's your task. Get it done by 5 and go home.
Told what to do.
So, and it is also nice to not be that. So, if that weren't something that I didn't want, then I wouldn't do all of this to have this position because it is very different. Yeah. But I do like that. I like the freedom of this position and this job. So it's worth it to do the extra work to make myself as I know that I can be. Like I know I can be like Christine, half Alicia. Like because I am. I feel it. I feel
you have you have it. I mean, it's in you. Like it's there. We just have to figure out how to get her out, right? Because she is there. The drivenness, the organization. You already have the passion like time. And you do have all of these things there. It's how can we make those strengths work for you in the way that works with everything else going on, right?
How to access it. Yeah. So I know it's there. It's just opening those doors.
It is. And I mean, you've already created so many goals for yourself with that, with the planner, with this, having your morning meetings to kind of recenter and focus on today's work. Right. Those are all big things that you have created using what you know is your strong suit.
Right. Yeah. It's definitely been a struggle, but everything's gonna be a struggle. Anything you really want is gonna take effort. So.
Yeah. I think this is great. So how we're running out of time. Okay. I just want to reassert your goal for yourself and that you're going to start doing morning kind of like, I don't know, what do you want to call them? Yeah. Maybe think of a fun name, a fun name for your time. Are you going to do this right now out of the gate? I mean, are you going to do this every day of the week? Yes. Are you going to try?
Yes, I would like to do it every single day because I think that that's what gets me started and gets me thinking.
Okay. So how are you going to dedicate yourself to that? Because in the hecticness of the morning, how are you going to make sure you have time for that?
I'm going to put it on my calendar.
Okay.
And I'll probably talk to Diane just to let her know that that's what my thoughts are and what I want to do and why. Okay. So she understands that I'm not working. I'm getting myself prepared. And even if she wants me to come in like 15 minutes early, whatever, just to do that, then fine.
I think that's a big thing to Yeah. So you're putting all your steps in order.
Yeah. And at least if I can get started with that, it'll probably become routine is what I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Or it'll just be like second nature to me. Okay, this is what we do when we come in. It's what it is.
Yeah.
So that's my goal, is to make it routine.
Cool. Anything else that you would like to talk about today?
No, I think that one was it.
Okay. I know this is like a little weird send off because like in last class we talked about like how to reflect. I mean, with this class I only have to do 2 sessions with you, but I'm okay to do more if you would like to do more. And then we can kind of see, we can see as it goes if we'd like to either, you know, you've got it, you got it going, you're good, we don't have to do it anymore, and like have those conversations.
It's like I said, I think this is helpful for me to talk it out and get it out of my brain and out to somebody else that like you can just help me process what's going on in there, because it is crazy in there. So I think that this is very helpful for me. And I've noticed like it gave me like motivation and like confidence that okay, I'm not like crazy and I can do this. So like somebody else knows and believes that I can do this, I can do this. So it gives me that like confidence booster.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it is.
That's amazing.
It's not easy for me to do. So it's very helpful for me.
Good.
And I very much appreciate it.
I'm excited to be here on this journey with you. And this is going to be great. You're going to do amazing. You already are doing amazing things. You're already like where we were last week to now. There is a strong person in front of me.
Like a big difference in my psyche afterwards. I was like, okay, I can do this. I got this.
That's great.
Yeah, I do continue.
Okay. Awesome. So I'll let you reach out to me then when you're ready. We'll just set up a time.
Like every 2 weeks.
Yeah, you let me know. I'm gonna let you reach out to me. And you let me know. Okay.
Yes. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. All right, let me pause this bad thing.